It's yet another edition of Dallas at Washington. And Dallas needs to have it in order to clinch the NFC East and two, at least, as long as they're able, home playoff game for themselves. The Eagles, at the same time, will be in East Rutherford, New Jersey, to try and sweep the Giants in order to take the NFC East should the Cowboys stumble. In Washington, D.C., that's your setup for the so-called money division in the 2 seed in the NFC. Sherry Burris is there for us. Sherry?
Well, Rich, we control our own destiny. We can write our own book. That is how cornerback Stephon Gilmore described the Cowboys' playoff journey. But this book reads that this Cowboys team is much different at home than they are on the road. They're a perfect 8-0 at AT&T Stadium. And I spoke with J-Ron Kearse this week asking about the common denominator on why they struggle on the road. He told me it's a slow start on both sides of the ball and never really getting into a rhythm. He even told me that in the locker room, they're having this conversation. They're trying to understand what those differences are of what individual players are doing on the road versus at home. We even kind of had a laugh about it, said, yeah, it's not to blame a hotel pillow or even traveling with that lucky blanket that could make the difference, Rich.
Thanks, Sherry. And, I mean, it's undeniable. They're two different teams when they're at home and when they are not. And here is a reminder of what they look like when they are not.
I'm going to fix these potholes on the road as we try to drive this truck to Las Vegas. Here we go!
A wild, bumpy ride.
Prescott thrown in the end zone. It's intercepted.
By far his worst game of the year.
There might be a reason for that big hole, huh?
We are needing this road to be much smoother.
Cowboys can't win on the road.
Do you think the road had anything to do with this?
Got to be better, especially on the road.
You got to get on the road and fix the potholes.
They're going to be on the road for the playoffs now with this loss.
They cannot get out of this hellhole fast enough.
Everybody wants to know while we were watching that here in studio. Michael wasn't at all dismayed by the Cowboys' poor play on the road. He was actually quite pleased how his bicep looked.
Well, that was true.
That montage, right? Am I wrong?
It was true, too. Yeah. It was actuality. That was that bicep for real, y'all saw.
We're going to recreate people who are proud of their biceps in the NFL. There's you, and then there's Ed Hockley, right up there, wherever he is today.
Just trying to stay.
What do you need to see from him today, sir? What do you need?
Listen, honestly, and this is simple. This is what you call a big money game because we're really in the playoffs right now. And ultimately, to get to where you're going to go, you're going to have to go on the road and make sure those potholes aren't bad. Aren't there. But so what I need now is big money game. I need my big money players doing big money things in this game. Understand this. We're about to pay Dak Prescott $300 million. That dude CeeDee Lamb you just saw about to get $175, and Michael Parsons, he's going to get another about $200 million. You're going to get that money. Go to that big game out in Las Vegas and bring us home a ring back there to Dallas. Do big money things in this big money game. That's all it comes down to, those guys right there. Washington can't block anybody. Michael Parsons, let me see you make some big plays in this game. And you cover two things. You get your hype going, you get your confidence going, and you take care of them potholes on the damn road.
Okay, well, listen. You take care of your Washington, right? You take care of your Washington today, and then I'll take care, hopefully, of my Washington on Monday night.
Okay.
Hey, I'm weaving tapestries with you. Yes. Yes.
That's so good.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, that was right on time. That was right on time right there. Rick, that was right on time. We beating all Washingtons.
There we go.
All of them out of here.
Meanwhile, up the road in New Jersey.
Rich, that was pretty good, Rich.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just spinning. I'm spinning yarns. Mike Garofalo, take it away.
Rich, the Eagles have won once in their last 5 games. Christmas Day against the Giants, a team they'll face again today. I was there for that game. There was very little celebrating on the sideline at the end. There were long faces and some moping in the locker room afterward. Just the sense of a team that felt like they had lost even though they hadn't. And look, for the Eagles, it's about getting back to the style of football that they played early in the season. Talking to a few Eagles folks, I got the sense that the October 22nd game against the Dolphins was the last time they felt like they played a complete game on both sides. They started fast, they finished fast. Nick Sirianni saying we've got to get back to that style of football, will ourselves to wins. They better hurry up. Playoffs are around the corner.
And the Eagles are 10-1. This team doesn't know how to lose.
What happened?
In the midst of an excellent season, a disappointing game, it happens. I know how you feel at home. These last 2 weeks have not been easy.
Everybody's locker room is frustrated.
It feels desperate to make the coaching changes that they have made.
It is not the coaches. It is us.
Heartbreak in Seattle. Why would the offense go for broke right there?
You know, you can get a pass interference there.
We ride with Nick. He really made himself look like the fool for us. We messed that up.
This clearly is a different team than it was when they were 10-1.
How do you lose to the Cardinals?
With all this freaking adversity, we right there.
Well, in the last 2 weeks, Matt Patricia's number 2 pencil has been broken in half number 2. Look at these numerals after halftime. Eagles lucky to be 1-1. Wow.
Yeah, look at that number 2 pencil right there. Matt Patricia, you know, changed defensive coordinators this year and a little bit of the defensive play calls, but didn't change players really. So this team has been struggling. They're not the same, Kurt, as they were last year or when they started the season 10-1. Let's talk about this defense. Is it fixable?
Well, I think when we say fixable, you always like to go, okay, I can point my finger at what the problem is. Okay, now we can address what that problem is. When I go back and look at this defense, I don't know where to point my finger because defensive line is not doing their job. The linebackers aren't tackling in the secondary. They can't cover anybody in man-to-man coverage. So I say to myself, I don't believe they are fixable from the standpoint of being able to become a shutdown defense or a team that can lead them defensively. Now, what I will say, coaches, they still have a number of guys over there that you say, these are big-time players. And so what I need is, hey, you're not going to become that shutdown defense, but I'm going to need you to make big plays in the moment, which was such a huge part of who they were last year on their Super Bowl run, Coach. I don't think it's fixable, but they still have some really good players over there.
A lot of good players, a lot of veterans, too. And I'm just thinking that sooner or later they're going to start playing like they're capable of. You said not a lot of big plays. Well, you know what? This team, remember, they were like the 85 Bears sacking teams last year. 29 fewer sacks this year than last year. Only 8 interceptions. They're not taking the ball away. And those are not big plays. Those are called what? Those are called GCPs. You tried to get this going. It was a thing. It's a GCP. Game-changing plays.
That's right.
You know what? They're not getting that this year.
Exactly.
All they need is look at this guy had 16 sacks last year. That's not Michael Vick. That's Haason Reddick. You know what? That's only 11 this year. All right? But you know what? Matt Patricia, let's get him going, man. Playoffs are coming. Let me send it back to Rich.